Hello, how's it going, everybody?
Hello.
Welcome back to another installment of our revival housing show and tell.
Yes.
Justify your job. Yeah, right. My name is Kedrick Gonzalez. I'm the creative director at Ilphonic. I'm here with Anthony Ramos, level designer, and James Garcia, intern level designer. I'm glad we're doing this. This is fun. This is exciting. I like showing off the houses we've been working on, giving you guys a little glimpse into the way we think about things and how we produce all this amazing content. It's been really fun, really exciting, a big learning experience for us every step of the way. We got a lot of cool stuff to show you today. So we should just get right into it. You know, I think last time we really spent a lot of time talking about each other, but whatever.
So a little background.
Yeah. How you doing?
Pretty good. You know.
Get a brown bag special.
I got a little brown bag special this time. No red cup.
What's in that brown bag?
Some imported apple juice.
Imported apple juice. I'm sure it's high quality. That's why it's in a brown bag. Awesome. Cool. James, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah, hanging in there?
Yeah, hanging in there.
Eating strawberries?
Yeah, a little bit.
Hanging out. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good. So today we're going to show what we call Style 3 houses, which are the kind of the mid-income houses of people who reside in Crowns Rock. This is kind of that mid-income level, but it's also the hybrid of the commercial buildings, which, you know, we talked about this before. And we always tell everybody, you can do whatever you want out of your house, right? If you want your house to be whatever it is, it's a place where you drag dead bodies, if it's a place you just store and hoard lots of the loot you find while adventuring, or whatever it is you want to do in your house, it's up to you. You can turn any type of house, you can turn your little crappy tenement thing into the place where you sell drugs out of. That's up to you. We're not saying a commercial building is you have to have this type of house to sell goods out of. The difference is there's certain perks to having a commercial building that you couldn't use otherwise in another building. In other words, a commercial building is first and foremost recognized by the city as being a commercial building, so it's zoned properly, right? It's a difference between like going around in the city you live in, and most cities around the world at least have city ordinances on like where like commercial buildings, commercial properties reside, and like you go there and you're going to find things, and there's certain taxes and everything that happens to those types of properties. That's essentially kind of the same thing. Right? Like Sim City, for example, right? Yeah, it's commercial property, but now it's hybrid. Because back in the medieval times, it's like there's not many people that's going to have, here's my commercial property, and then I'm going to go to my other house.
Yeah. That's
like these people like. Their families and generations have died and lived in the same building over and over and over. It's definitely haunted. They're all haunted. They've probably been burned to the ground and raided and everything else a million times. And man, I can't believe the shit bucket's probably rotting in that thing. So we're going to go over a few things. What we call this Style 3 house. What it was when we created this style was, we wanted to go to kind of like the traditional. We call it's known as a Tudor style, which is definitely I'm pretty sure pioneered in England, medieval housing style, which has like a lot of brown dark wood beams, plaster walls in between. It's very like it reminds you of medieval England pretty much, right? I don't know if it could have been French for all we know. I don't really looked into it that deep. I'm sure someone knows and they're going to correct me for it. Yeah. So that's kind of like the style. There's like lots of cool, like essentially the idea behind it is there's like the foundation, and that's your plot of land, and you build it. And then what they would do is when they would build the house, a lot of times they would they didn't have, you had your property, but going vertical, they didn't say you couldn't expand. Right after you go vertical, it's only the foundation. So a lot of times you get these little cool overhangs, and they overhang and overhang. So you'll see a little bit of that in these styles of houses from the exterior perspective, and sometimes the interior perspective as well. But most of the time we keep things pretty tight. But some of the buildings are, they're a little weird, weirdly shaped, and you're going to definitely notice that from the exterior when the exteriors are made. But that further emphasizes the concept that these houses were like thrown together, and they've been added onto over the years.
It's also one of the first style that you start to see windows.
Yeah, exactly. It's something civil and usable and livable. So, and again, it ties into what your character wants to be. Like if your character really cares about that stuff, and he has his background, past, and history living in this society, like as a person of the city and everything like that, then yeah, this is the type of house you'd want your character to be in. But if you don't, if your character's a traveling vagrant, then don't even get a house or be in a tenement, exactly. So, James, can you tell me, what do you think some of the uses for this style of house would be for? We just talked about a little bit of the adventuring side and stuff. What other kind of uses do you think? Like if you were to get a Style 3 house, what would you do with it?
Well, you could, since there's multiple rooms, you can if you have a guild or something, or if you're like a small party of friends, maybe it's not an entire guild, you can have people stay in your house. You can like we were talking about earlier, store dead bodies. You know, if you got a gimp you want to keep around locked up in the basement, you know, you can keep them there. But that's how I envision it. You know, have like a place to, you know, keep your stuff there, keep your friends close, like a headquarters for yourself.
Exactly. You can craft there. You
Yeah,
can have it's your crafting location. There's lots of just amount of room, enough room. It's also the first style where we introduce upgradable rooms too. So Tone, can you explain the difference between commercial and residential? Like, what are the main things?
Like you were saying, like commercial is more what comes along with different taxes and stuff like that you would see in the world side. But as far as the different building, you'll generally see like more bedroomy, I guess I would say, like in residential, and it's kind of like more homey, and you know where you would normally see a store, where you would have your storefront, you would kind of just see like the nice living room with some windows and stuff like that. And yeah, that's really the difference, just like more homey.
Yep. And what kind of layouts do you normally have? Like, I've noticed some of the commercials, like, they have like this, it's almost like you think of walking into a store, and then you kind of see there's a house back there. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so like, you know, like you were saying, these back in the medieval ages or whatever, they wouldn't have a house to live in and then a storefront building. That it's all bundled together, you know. And so yeah, you would walk in, see the storefront, and then most times like the merchant himself would just have like a little room up top or whatever, and then storage area to put all of his goods. So yeah, that's kind of what it was going for.
Yep. And what do you think some of the possible uses for non-upgradable rooms are, James? Like if you have, because they're not every room in these style threes are upgradable. Mm-hmm. You know, you just have a room, and I think you guys may have seen that on the floor plan. Sometimes it's just a room. And in the beginning, we were going to label those, but I don't know. What do you think? What could you really do there?
That's a good question. I remember playing a lot of Terraria, which is like a two-dimensional version of Minecraft, where I just make these random rooms and like just store shit in there, or like decorate it however the hell I want. It was more so just for the just a place that wasn't I would actually use, more just like something I could just put shit in there.
Trophies.
Yeah, that's actually the trophies. Any like artifacts you find, you know, maybe you're doing quests and stuff, and you find something out in the wild, or you like rob somebody, and you can just take whatever their ideas they made and just put it in your own, and you know, make a lounge or something, or you know, gaming room.
Whatever you want. Really.
Yeah, pretty much anything.
Yeah, like a den or something.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, when you go looking for real estate in IRL. You know, you look.
You said in IRL.
Yeah, IRL is its own entity. In IRL, they wanted to keep the place vacant so the person who wants to buy the house can like envision, oh, like I have this shit here, I can put that there, and this wall's empty. And
yeah, and that was in the beginning whenever we were designing the floor plans. We didn't want to be like, we had like this empty room was a non-upgradable room listed as it. It's still kind of here. You guys are going to see in the levels when floating around, we have this text just kind of floating in the air. And that was mostly us for reference for what could a player use here. But whenever we laid out the floor plans to you, we didn't want you guys to feel that you were dictated to be like, this is the master bedroom. Mm-hmm. That bedroom you could have as many beds as you want to fit in there, right? Like, it's really up to you. And in upgradable rooms, you don't have to use an upgradable room. You can be empty, and you can do whatever you want in there, right?
You can even like maybe charge other players to like stay, like,
exactly.
You know, keep their stuff in your house.
And I believe we've gone over that before, the renting system, where you do have the ability to have a lock that in a room that can be rented out to other players, so you can potentially you get a house, and let's say for example Crown's Rock on your server sold out, but there's a lot of players coming in, they still want to play. Well, then you could be like, hey, I got a room I'm not using, and then you can make a little cash out of it, you know, or whatever, or gold, or whatever you want to do. I don't know what your trading transactions. I didn't endorse anything. I didn't say anything. Get off me. Anyways. Okay. So let's see. Let's talk about modularity a little bit, about these upgradable rooms, because it's an important thing to talk about, especially in the development of of everything we're doing, because you're going to see these modular upgradable rooms not just here you guys have seen them if you purchased a house and went on the checkout, and you can do it later once the housing management system is available. If you didn't do it at checkout, there are upgradable rooms you can buy, and they're essentially themed rooms. And we don't want people to think that, oh, if I didn't get a themed room, I'll never be able to craft because I didn't get the crafting room kit of my choice, right? It's a themed room is essentially a collection of items than the upgradable rooms that allow you to do something, right? That's really all it is. It's a collection, and more than that is we also decorate the room. We put a custom wallpaper up. Everything's like a library. It feels like a library. Like you walk in, and it's like, oh, this place is cool. There's a rug on the ground. Everything's dope, lit properly.
You'll have the amenities that you would. So like if you went to a fort, you would have like your anvil and your hammer and all that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's essentially it's just a room ready for you to take on, but you don't have to get one. Again, in the full game after stage 6, especially in your adventuring, if you see a library, you could either get an upgraded room, or you can just get all the props that would make a library and make it yourself in whatever room you want. You can also take the props out of the upgradable room and move them anywhere around your house you want. So if you want, your library, but you want that upgradable room, but you'd much rather have the library assets, other the props and bookshelves everywhere else in your house, you can easily take things out of that upgradable room and move them around. So let's talk about that a little bit. So what are some of the assets that will be used for the modularity swapping? Like that's like the tier 4 stuff, right?
Right.
That's James. What do you think about that?
The tier 4 rooms?
Were you tuned out?
Well, sorry, repeat the question.
You staring? You had that infinite stare. You're staring off the distance. What are some of the assets that will be used in the modularity swapping? Yeah.
That's such a good question. I've never actually, I don't think I've ever been over that.
So just kind of think of
because it's all going to be a set, like a prefabricated set.
So what would you see if you were to, like I was just saying, if you were to make a forge, you would see your anvil, your hammer. If you were to make a library, you'd see your bookcases with those, probably those ladders that kind of scroll over, and roll around. Or if you made like an alchemy thing, you could see like a table with like a little chemistry kind of set thing. That's best I can describe it with
Yeah, Tony did a great job answering that question for James. So that's fine. Hey, whatever, man.
Yeah, because I knew there was going to be like a blacksmith stuff and like alchemy, but I wasn't sure if we had a whole list yet.
Yeah, just more on the rules side, for development. What's the big thing about doors when you're doing? Is it when we're doing upgradable rooms, and it's something players are going to notice too. If they get into a house, they're going to know something a lot different about doors and like.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? What is the main difference there?
Doors in the upgradable rooms?
Yeah.
I believe in you. I believe in you. You gotta think past the door.
James.
And see the door.
Yeah. What is this door?
What is the door?
We're talking about the center doors. So it's
the center doors. You'll notice that an upgradable room has a center door, like
F.
And why is that though? So I'm sure you know.
Yeah. So this is part live stream, part review.
The upgradable rooms have center doors. Like it'll be an 8-meter wall with the door between right in the center. That it's made that way because the upgradable rooms are going to be set, they're going to be set dressed already. So when you change a room, your upgradable room to something, everything's going to be placed around where the door is, basically. So if it's modular, then it has to be centered so everything is the same, basically.
It's also, like you said,
the door needs to be the same spot.
It's going to help with the rotation too, so that way we always know that's where it is. So anything that's going to get, like you said, anything that's going to it's going to kind of go around it,
Yeah.
So that way it's always okay, upgradable room, center door.
Yep. Make sure and the big thing to note is that what we call the center doors, like what James said, is 8 meters. Normally, on the last live stream, we talked about our tier system being built off of 4 meters. So you see these 4 meter chunks. But this is an 8 meter chunk because the door is in the center, right there between both pieces because the upgradable rooms are always 8 by 8 by 4 meters in volume space. So what that means is the door frame is always right here in the center. So when you're going through a house or something like that, you're going to always be able to easily identify those. If you're in a friend's house or something like that, you will be able to see, because usually how doors will be like if, for example, imagine a hallway, like you're coming to an end of a hallway, and there's a door frame here at the end. If it's like right up against the wall at the end of the hallway, then you know it's not an upgradable room.
Right.
But if it's in this like in a weird offset center, like then you know it's going to be an upgradable room. So if you're like a thief, well, that's where you can really kind of pick and choose your time, because more than likely, if there's an upgradable room, that means somebody has probably decorated it. They probably, purchased an upgradable room kit, and so then that's prime picking for you. So you can just go in there and take everything, leave them a note, draw a dick butt.
Got ya.
Right? Yeah, you got. Okay. So what about, Tom, what about the windows in upgradable rooms? What will you see, especially on the outside of that? What's going on with those?
So right now we're playing with a couple ideas, but the one that seems to be holding more ground is that if there were to be a fireplace or something, you'll likely see 2 smaller windows on the side of the fireplace. And that's mainly so we can just track, like, okay, this is the exterior wall, so we avoid any goof-ups where you're looking inside your own house through a window, kind of just helping us out on the design side for that. And you'll definitely see that from the outside. So like you said, if you're a thief, like, oh, this guy's got a fireplace, what's going on there? So windows more likely tied to the exterior walls, where the fireplace is at. But we'll see if we can figure something out.
And it's a big thing, right? Like it's going to be, sometimes it's going to look a little weird at some houses, because the windows, again, like what James is saying, these rooms are going to be swapped out. So the door's always in the same spot, no matter if you're in a style 3, style 4, or style 5 house, or any house or building we have in the future Revival's development, including houseboats, because houseboats have upgradable rooms in them too. You're going to see that center door always in the same spot. And if that room kit needs windows, like some of them require windows to be able to be used, you're going to see the same spot. Windows are always going to be in the exact same spot inside the room, as well as the exterior. So if you're looking at a house from the exterior, you're going to see, like, here's a big, glorious, amazing window on this mansion, another one, these look all fancy, and then it goes, what is that? Like these 2 little goofy little windows that are not proportionate to the rest of the building, and you're going to immediately know that that's an upgradable room. They follow a strict rule of modularity, so they always have to be in that same exact spot. Okay, and fireplaces kind of follow the same rule, right? They're kind of
always hitting the exterior walls.
Yeah.
They can hit interior walls, but there's kind of like a little kink in the system where, say, there's a fireplace that's leading into a hallway. That might not work,
right?
So there's a couple of little things there that we're still trying to work out. But for the most part, say you have 2 upgradable rooms next to each other, and the fireplace is on the inner wall, then it's pretty easy to just kind of smash them and then kind of get something out on the exterior in the middle of both of them.
Yep. And the big thing there is with fireplaces too, is fireplace, really all you need is the chimney, which is an exhaust, right? And it's going to change rapidly. So all we need is that fireplace part to be, again, in the center of the wall, and it doesn't matter the size. So you go into some upgradable rooms, depending on the side of the house, and the fireplace can be bigger, smaller, inside. You'll see them different. Even on the exterior of the building, on the fireplace, you'll see it lined up against the wall, bigger and smaller. It doesn't matter, because it's not as important for our modularity. But if it has windows in the same room, then they have to just make sure they don't overlap the windows, essentially, so you're not overriding anything.
Yep.
And that's why the windows are really small in the upgradable rooms, is because there's probably going to be a fireplace. And that's really important, especially windows and fireplace placement for lighting, because we want to make sure rooms are well lit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In the versions we're going to show you here in a second, there's not any lighting at all in these upgradable rooms. Yeah. They're pitch black. So when I go into a pitch black room and I'm like, hey, here's an upgradable room, you'll understand that that's just because the window definitions we're still setting up. We're still trying to integrate that stuff, and it's going to be across all the styles, as well as just, if there's a fireplace, I could theoretically kind of just turn on the fireplace and you could see it, but, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So let's show let's just do one of these little show and tells here. Let's get in here. Let's turn up our ugly faces and show off pretty art. How about that?
That's good.
Okay. Let's see.
Art.
Art. You like art? You guys like art?
No. Art. Good.
Our team's been doing an amazing job here with this stuff, guys.
Do we have any quick
Oops,
questions?
that's the wrong one.
A
There it is.
question maybe we could do before we roll into this?
Yeah. Let's do
Questions.
Well,
Yes.
let's wait.
Okay.
Let's show this a little bit, and then they're gonna probably ask some questions.
Yeah.
So this is what we call Style 3 Residential Version 3.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we didn't think ahead of time and realize that you guys have no idea what we're talking about when we say Version 3. So that means.
It'll show up on the floor plan on the website.
Yeah, you could probably look at this and then think of what the floor plan one is. I mean, this one's got a pretty unique style. It's that one with the weird middle wall and the stairwell that's kind of split on sides of it.
Oh yeah, that's a commercial one.
This is a residential.
This is a residential one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here, like I said, this thing says main hall, which that's the front door coming into it. So really, this can be whatever you want it to be. But the fireplace, you can see this is a grand fireplace. It takes up a lot of space, but it definitely will light up this room at nighttime. You can see, we definitely have torches, plenty placed around, so you'll have lots of light. Stairs, always under stairs. You have plenty of spots to put stuff, more storage.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't account for under stair space in the square footage.
Free.
Yeah, so it's free. So you guys get that
Free for you.
Yeah, free for you. And this is a upgradable room. Again, you can tell because if I think my cursor is barely telling it, but let me select that object. You can see it then. And you can see how the door is in the center of this wall versus it's in the center of these, but these are 3-4 meter pieces. Yeah, that's 12 meters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it was a center door, it would be like right here in the center, right here.
Yeah.
My cursor's not showing up very well, but I think you guys understand it.
Yeah.
So if I go in this upgradable room, so you see that it's pretty dark in here. There's some, again, like talked about on the last live stream, there's a lot of light bleeding right now because we don't have a solution to that yet, but we'll get there soon. And this one has a fireplace. As you can tell, clearly this fireplace is nowhere near as big as the one that was outside in that main hall area. But it will change, based on styles and stuff. Sometimes you might get a really big one. But, most times I think, players, when they get an upgradable room, they may not want this gigantic fireplace because it takes up a lot of space.
Can you run around there and turn on torches and stuff?
No, I think, no.
All right now.
Not right now because the character animations and everything are all broken, busted up, but here soon. So we go upstairs here. We can see, it's kind of a little cool area, a little nook, place stuff, Yeah, extra storage areas. Again, we've been trying to add lots of windows for opportunities for lighting. We want to really fill these spots up with lighting. You can tell it's kind of a weird setup. Like if we talk about how this floor stacks, I think this building stacks pretty square. It might be a little bit long.
The upgradable room might be poking out.
This one's better than some of the others.
Yeah, some of those other ones are really weird with the weird crisscrossy hallways and stuff. But this one, yeah, you can tell it's not an upgradable room because it's in the corner. That's not this. If it was an upgradable room, it'd be right here in the center spot. So here in this room, we got we labeled as master bedroom, but again, it can be whatever you want it to be. This can be the room you rent out,
It's like how a real estate agent would present the house. Like, this is the master bedroom.
Yeah, exactly. We want to think about the functionality a little bit when planning houses, but we're not. I don't want to dictate to you that you can and can't do this or that or whatever. So, this is one of the Style 3 residentials. It's pretty cool. I didn't get one of these. I got a tenement and one of the Style 4s. Yeah, that's what I got. But these ones are still cool. I think it's a modest size. It's more than I think most. I think this is on point with what players would need because it's a happy middle ground. It's got lots of space. It's got lots of functionality. Again, this is big. This is what yeah, it's 12 meters across. Like, this is a huge room, you know, this is really big. So you're going to be able to fit a lot of stuff. If you buy the furnishing package, you'll get this thing fully decorated, good to go as soon as our house decorating mode is released after the offline client. So that'd be really cool. All right, cool. So let me pull up another one, and then we can ask a question from stream while I pull this up and act like I know what I'm doing. Cindy, please.
All right. Well, it looks like Snipey has been doing an awesome job of answering questions as we go along. So if some of the questions get answered again, I apologize. But what I have is, first of all, Exton wanted to know, Kedron, why didn't you introduce the dragon?
The dragon.
That thing. I think James just randomly pulled that in here because he's some kind of asshole.
I am an asshole.
But it's I don't know. I think
it's a dinosaur.
It is. Does it work?
He's off. It works, but he's off.
How do you turn it on?
He's a squirter too.
I
think it's at the bottom.
What do you do? Is that what you do?
It'll shoot eventually.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Cindy.
Cindy right in the face. That's good.
Alright, let's not have things that squirt water around electronics. But
all right. So Sandra will ask, do the houses have roof and/or attic access, assuming the house has layouts for such?
Not right now.
Not right now. Not in the first. Not in the first delivery of houses, but certainly in the next. Possibly in the next cities. We didn't plan for that initially because there's a lot of things with modularity, but there'll certainly be things like rooftop balconies and stuff like that planned in future houses. Cool. All right, so that's good. Let's take a look at a commercial one here. How about that? Yeah. So this is a commercial style 3.
Style 5, you mean?
A commercial style 3 version 5.
Right. Okay.
So it's one of the two. There's 2 commercials.
There's 2 commercials.
2 commercials, yeah. So one of the 2 commercial ones. Have you guys bought a commercial ones? This one's probably one of the ones you got. I like how you lit a torch. So this is the main entry area. So you can see it's got this like offset, but then there's also there's an upgradable room like right here, right off the main entryway. But if you were a player and you were saying, okay, this is my storefront area from this main entrance, you can do multiple things, right? Like back here, it seems like this can be kind of your this cargo storage area,
Yeah.
and you might want to gate it with something back here. Like you'd probably like put like a table or something that kind of blocks the path.
Some sort of bar, yeah.
Yeah, a bar. Yeah, you could easily install a bar system, and then back here you can we're putting one of those the folding up divider systems that will allow you to block access to this back door. But of course, this all is going to tie into how you run your store, right? Like if you're going to be the person manning the merchant table, which let's talk about that for a second, because man, that is some time and effort. You just got off work, log into Revival, and then go back to work by sitting behind a bar, hoping people come in, closing at night, opening in the day, like all that stuff. That's a lot of work. So, just make sure we touch on that. There will be options for you to buy NPC help, and you can set rules for them. Like, hey, this is your hours, this is what you do, things you pay attention to. We'll be able to let players mark off areas of your residence, like other players cannot go in these X areas. So if you can mark off like this area right here and say a player's not allowed back here, and so then your NPC merchant can be in here selling stuff, and if a player runs back there that's not allowed, they'll freak out on them and like call guards and like all that stuff.
You're golem.
Yeah, you got your goal just standing right here because you were able to do that. Let's say you guard everything, right? So there's a lot of potential here. This is so that's what the storefront property here works in that method. So it gates off this back residential area, which going up here. So this one stacks. So you got 2 stairs. Kind of one of the longer ones, right?
This would make a great brothel.
It could make a great brothel, absolutely. So this, here's again, you can see this one's an upgradable room here,
It's got two.
and then this one's a normal room. So if you go in here in this normal room, like it's labeled spare room, and again, it's whatever you want it to be. It's a nice, got a little window area, nice. It's got some nice space. And the upgradable room here, it's all dark and depressing until it's set dressed with an upgradable room kit. We will make a note that if you buy furnishing packages, we do not furnish the upgradable rooms. Everything else in the house is up furnished and during that phase, because if you buy an upgradable room kit, it's got to do something with the props that are in there. Now we are going to be putting in a system for that, just in case you're swapping out upgradable kits, and that stuff will be revealed soon. And this again is like another big room up at the top. And this house kind of has a weird shape because it kind of almost goes like in a pyramid form.
Yeah.
But from the outside, the exterior of the house, I think it'll make sense. Just some of the roofs are going to be doing a little bit of some weird swoopy action type stuff. Swoopy action.
That's a style.
Yeah, swoopy action. So yeah, this one's really cool, man. I really like this layout because if you think of it purely from a commercial standpoint, like you gate off this area and you say no one can, like if you had something like you said, maybe your character is some kind of alchemist merchant, for example, right? Like some kind of mystical guy or something, or like some sort of elder, like maybe you do readings and stuff like that. This is the place where you do work, business, and you buy an upgradable room here that ties in with your craft and trade, just in case you're selling resources. You have this upgradable room, which we will allow the ability to charge for services to the public for using your upgradable room. So you could essentially create your own blacksmithy and forge, and here you have your storefront where you sell the hardcore resources. Back here you store all those resources, and people are crafting and going in and out of here all day long. So that's the beauty of this system. That's not really been seen before. So, and you can even set your NPC merchants. Like if you have like a big trade stop, you're making a lot of money on all these resources, and you're running out of like ingredients for these guys that are trying to do a lot of smithy work. You can send out, you can have the NPC automatically send out a resource request, and that'll send out a work order and stuff like that, so players can drop off certain resources, or an NPC will try to go gather them from another vendor in town, or even send a caravan out to go to another city in the world. So it's really cool. I'm really excited to see this kind of concept. There's a way bigger stuff on the back end going on, especially when it comes to player politics and all the stuff with the city in relation to what actually the benefits of having a commercial property are. We'll go into that a little bit more detail later. I believe a lot of that is on the website already.
And just a note on these grand fireplaces. I remember some discussion into possibly reducing their size, so or at least having another variation, so that when it does come into a little spot right there where you have to travel through there, it could just be like the smaller one, right?
Yeah. Yep. So some of these might be smaller, some of them might be bigger as we jump into iterations with these. I would just again stress that, guys, this isn't final. Like the layout is final. You purchased a layout. If you purchased a house, so that's the layout you're going to get. But these windows might change a little bit in their appearance. The fireplace might change a little bit in appearance, and certain things might change. Like we're still in development, and we're going to continue to be in development until this thing looks absolutely breathtaking. I think it already looks amazing. The art team's been killing it, doing a great job. And
we'll never take away anything.
Yeah, so we're not going to take anything. If we take away something from you, it better be for a damn good reason. And you'll, as far as like your orders and what we change with the house, and that doesn't mean live storytelling events and stuff like that. That's something all like ball game. All right, cool. So Cindy, if you could please, let's pull another question and let me get this other house ready.
All right. So for the commercial buildings, I would imagine, will the storefront homes with NPC vendors also have display shelving, mannequins, or display products?
See, why not? Because that way you can display all your armors that you've just crafted or whatever. Yeah. So I mean, I believe so.
Cool. And how will the NPC vendors help protect inventory? Like call guards, or will they hire guards, or have
NPCs?
golems?
Yeah, you could have like only NPC guards you can have in your house,
Yeah.
or
You can hire your own personal guards, but other than that, they will use the city resources available. So they will call guards, or they'll even here's the thing: if you pay them enough, you pay the NPCs working for you enough, they will also attack people. But just remember, just like if you were working at Walmart and someone starts stealing from you, and you're at Walmart. You're not going to be like, fuck that, and pull out a weapon and start attacking the guy. You're going to go, he got away, rats.
Yeah.
It's really what you pay for when it comes to NPC protection, guard protection, and more importantly, your neighborhood is, in getting involved with local politics is really important. You want to pay higher taxes, because higher taxes are going to be more guards, more protection, more safety. Like if you cap somebody stealing or somebody comes in and tries to rob you, you want to know that protection's near and ready.
Yep.
You alright?
yeah.
Is this live stream forward? Y'all get what I'm talking about? Alright. Alright, cool. So let's take a look at this this last one here. And this one is what we call version 8. It's residential. This one's really cool. I like, again, a lot of these have these grand fireplaces in because it is kind of a staple of the style. It's like, bam, this is your main area. There's the big fireplace. And this is where you put your chair and you drink apple juice in front of the fire. Apple juice, right? It's good apple juice. Anyways, so in this one, again, you got an upgradable room, offset just right off the door. And, these ones seems like you put them here because it really helps with in and out of the house, right? If you put like a crafting station like right here immediately inside this upgradable room, then it's like you come in the front door, there's the rest of your house. It would kind of suck if you had to run upstairs all the way up there, so you just like, boom, I'm in here, do what I need to do, handle my business, and then get out. Yep. So that's an upgradable room, and this one's got a little weird long hall to storage. And again, these are 4-meter wide hallways. So these aren't narrow hallways by any means. Like you could fit
line stuff up.
Yeah, you could fit a bed right here pretty much. And it's really if you want to cram and maximize your square meters, you can. It's not going to be an issue. Like this, you've got so much space in here. So when you see something like this, it just looks like a long hallway to nothingness. Just think you can be lining this wall to wall with bookshelves.
Section that off. I don't know. Maybe someone wouldn't mind having a bed back there and renting it out.
Yep.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, that is important. That just reminded me. Going back to the commercial property real quick. One of the things, that whole NPC system I talked about with the storefront, that is only available in commercial properties. So if you want to hire an NPC to work your house, that is only available in commercial properties. You couldn't do that in this one, which is a residential property. You can have guards walking around. You can hire a guard, but that's a completely different thing, So going upstairs here, we got it's pretty normal. Hey, okay. This one's a 2-bedroom, right?
This is a 1-bedroom.
1-bedroom outside the upgradable room, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought. Sometimes you get lost in these things.
Yeah.
And you'll definitely get used to your own layout as you move around and stuff. Okay, and so in this room, holy shit! Oh, this one's decorated.
Looks like the art's got
in there. Yeah, so this is an example of some of the furnishing the artists are working on whenever they are doing all the props for getting ready and starting to decorate the interiors of the houses. So this is kind of what you're going to see if you get the furnishing kit. The artists are going to be doing a full, complete pass on all the interiors of the houses that are available and decorating them. So every single room in the house, you're going to see everything's already set up nice. You're going to have a pear on your table.
Who needs bowls?
You're going to have a pear, this little candle thing there, and you got your bowl. And then you got the shelves will be decorated. Books and the functionality will come, not out of the gates, of course. And then I do also want to stress that the lighting in here is, as I talked in the last live stream a little bit before, it is our faked global illumination bounce lighting because we do rely on a dynamic lighting system, which Unreal currently doesn't have a solution for. So we are kind of faking it right now. So that's why you see a lot of, why is this black up here? Because that's normally this whole room would be well lit, and you also wouldn't have these nasty harsh shadows coming up here because I really don't like that kind of stuff. But it's unfortunately what we have to deal with until we get the solution in place. But I think it works in the beginning, and it's going to give all the players and us a lot of stuff to work with. This is also a mirror.
There it is.
Kind of, sort of getting
It out. Yeah.
It's a mirror into nothingness. So you're looking at
relay.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. And you got lots of props. Like here's your fire pits. You can see HDR really kicking in when you look at that fire.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. Like this is showing an example of what you'll get out of the furnishing kit as well as things you can do in the rooms. So we're really excited to finish these props, get them all dialed up, get them all polished and clean and nice and organized, and then you're going to see all this kind of prop decorating in every single spot in every single house you purchase. If you get a upgradable, the prop kit, you're going to see this kind of detail everywhere. So that's good. That's going to be really exciting. And once the decorate mode is enabled, you can move everything around. So if you don't like where things are, you can move stuff, you can adjust pictures, move tables, do whatever you want anywhere in the house as long as things are compatible with the surfaces you're trying to place them on. We got a whole live stream planned for that and set up for that. So, all right, cool. So that's the three of the style 3 houses. I think there's a good little glimpse, kind of what's going on there. I don't know, let's take some questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so can you open the windows and will it reflect on the outside view, perhaps allowing people to break in through them?
No. And that's
No.
unfortunately, no. Again, this goes back into our last live stream where house interiors are very much instanced. Now, is if it's a part. Here's the thing, right? Houses that have windows that can open would be extremely rare in medieval times. And on the style 4s is probably in mansions, it'd probably be the only ones you would see them on, and it just creates a hassle for a lot of different issues. So from our standpoint, we're just assuming no, and it's also like a safety thing for players too, right? Like you want to know, you put all your energy into a door. You upgrade the locks on your doors, so it makes it really difficult for thieves who lockpick to break in and stuff like that. And we want to make players have to worry about every single window too that's possible, because it's just a little bit too much. But there still is that freedom of experience of breaking in and everything like that.
All right, so how much customization is allowed on the walls? For instance, can each wall have different colors/styles?
So what we currently are offering is you either get the walls and everything that's in here, walls, floors, ceilings, that's in the house when you purchase, or if you buy the upgradable kit, it will replace the walls, floors, ceilings throughout the entire building, and that's only through styles 1 through.
Excuse me.
That Dutch.
That was a sneeze.
Styles 1 through 4 upgrades, and then the upgradable kits change the walls, floors, ceilings, but currently not planned to allow players to custom define what those are in each individual instance. That could be a possibility way down the road, but not in our first stage 1 through 6 of development. Okay?
Cool. All right, will there be different architectural designs and interior styles for each city or community?
Absolutely. Crown's Rock is based off a, we call it like a maple oak forest type region. So this is like a very unique style and region, which you see like the Tudor style, the thatch roof cottages and the tenement buildings, all mostly Western European style, right? If that's the closest reference. Outside of that, we will definitely be exploring houses in different regions and stuff like that. They're going to look radically different, especially if you're in like very cold climates, or you're in very dry, like swampy, or if you're in like swamp buildings will be like You know, they have the posts that
Yeah.
rise them up off the water, and then like desert buildings, there won't be the need to do sloped roofs. You know, that's why all the roofs are flat and like really hot and dry climates, because it doesn't really rain much. So it's not really much of a need for a sloped roof. So you're going to see a lot of styles change throughout the game based on geological locations. But through stage 1 through 6, you're looking at most of the styles. There's going to be the 2 mansions made, and then there's the cathedral, which is going to be made. And outside of the city walls and stuff, that's pretty much the styles that you're going to see in the world of Crown's Rock, at least. And then that doesn't mean what we're going to be doing on the other island that you're going to be exploring, in dungeons and stuff like that. Okay?
Is there a mechanic to charge players to even enter a house? Something like running a bar with a cover charge, or using your crafting stations, but for a price?
Yeah, you could say, you know, you could charge an upgradable room, like we talked about, being, oh, you want to come in this room and use this, well, you have to pay a fee. Or you could be like, you come in the house, you pay a fee, and I have like 5 upgradable rooms, and you can just use whatever you want. Right? Like, so you can do it gated in different ways. You could even have it so you come in my house and I have maybe in a stop 4, maybe you have 2 upgradable, 3 upgradable rooms, and you want to use either one, or you can pay and you have access to all 3. And we'll have different access points of that, like you pay and it lasts until you leave, you pay and it lasts a certain amount of time, or you pay, you know, things like that. So those are all going to be, our house management system is very serious to us, and we understand it takes us to the point where what we do want if we're players and we were trying to charge people or make something off of this house. So if you're a player and you purchase a house, you're not just giving your character something, but you as a player and your economic standing in the world, you're giving yourself a chance to be a landlord, a serious merchant, all sorts of stuff. So it could be really cool. Okay.
All right. Can we add lights to the interiors that cast light and dispel shadows?
Yes, so there are torches everywhere, and one of these ones there was a torch lit. Torches, you can light them all up, and you can also place lanterns, everything you want. You can turn them on and off at your leisure. And when you first get in your house, I'm not sure, but I think we're just going to leave all the torches turned off by default. But they will be, like, if you turn one on, you can turn the next one off and things. You can turn it on and then log off, and then you come back in and it's still turned on for you, for example. But then blowing out a torch or a candle, it's not really a crime. So keep that in mind. If you leave your front door open to the public and you lit torches, you know, it's just like a public park. Like, you're gonna have to pick up the trash, like, you know, every now and then. So just be ready for people. The random troll's gonna run in there and be like, disabled, disabled, I'm out. You know, that's gonna happen. So, you know,
lock your door.
Lock your door. Or you're gonna have people like me coming in there and ruining everything. All right, what's up?
Will you actually get to see your character in the mirrors?
It's yes and no. The mirror technology is tricky, right? And in video games, it's always been tricky. And, you know, we just shifted engines to Unreal Engine 4, and our team hasn't really been focused on that. We know mirror technology is definitely going to be possible. I don't see why not, but I don't want to say anything. More than likely, it's not going to be an issue, because the way mirrors are done in games most of the time now these days is the mirror surface is actually a camera, right? And it's like, and it's projecting, and the camera's capturing a completely different render path, and then rendering it to a texture, and then that texture is being applied to the mirror and updated in real time. It's very expensive. That's the thing. It's a very expensive technique. So we just got to look into it. And unfortunately, it's not on one of our priorities, because, you know, we want to really get everything else done before jumping into something that's like, oh, that's cool, versus, oh, that's awesome. You know, that's really what you want first, kind of thing, you know? Okay?
Can we give any information about styles in other cities?
So far, we haven't really planned out or have too much on there. Fiction we do, but not so much on style guides and stuff like that. We've been really focusing all of our energy on what exists in Crown's Rock, and get Crown's Rock up and running in the styles there. So, you know, definitely down the road as we go forward and the game design documentation starts going up, and we get more art, you're going to be seeing a lot more. Here soon, especially, we're going to hopefully be getting a lot more concept art and stuff like that for the exterior itself, the entire city. So we're going to be sharing that.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. Cool.
So will there be any actual key item that can be pickpocketed, forcing one to change the locks?
Not really. No, I'm going to say no. I mean, and it all depends, right? Because your door is it depends, right? Like if it's a chest, and like a chest you just randomly got, then yeah, that's possible. If it's your house, the house is attached to your account, so you have a custom menu that is this is my house, right? So you're gonna always have access to that. But if it's certain things, like little things that aren't attached to your account, then yeah, you do run risk of losing it, and then. And that could be cool too. If you find the thing that someone lost, then you got this key. What does this key go to? And you play for hundreds of hours and never find it, and it's constantly in your loot, and you have 100 keys like it, and you just, sorry, that happened. That's happened to me so many times in RPGs. I'm just like, I'm going to use this key one day, and I just keep it back at it and never use it.
Warp key A, okay.
Put that in the bag. I never look at it again. Okay.
Alright, so will there be different ship styles, including houseboats based on location and culture, the same as there are for houses? For example, Western European style sailing ships versus East Asian style sailing ships.
Absolutely, same thing. We're going to be doing everything. Regions are a big thing, and we won't be introducing regions for a while, even past stage 6, because it is a massive undertaking on content. Yeah. So it is, again, from the beginning of Revival's production, we've always said, we're keeping our focus small, perfecting this focus. We want to perfect it before we say, let's just do everything at once, because it's just, that's like, to me, I think that's how you make bad games. So, and that's not what I want to do with Revival. Cool.
Alright, so will NPC houses, to the extent that they are accessible by players, operate identically to player houses in terms of zoning, or will there be open world NPC housing?
I think everything right now is plotted, right?
Yeah, it's all planned. Yeah, they NPCs generally follow every single rule players follow, so they definitely are zoned kind of. I'm not sure I understand the open world part, but as far as like rules for NPC houses and where everything's placed, yeah, the designers carefully place them to make sure they represent kind of what players do. So it's not just and go on point of that. You don't see like here's a player merchant area, because that's not fair, right? Like it'd be unfair if we said here's player merchant and here's NPC merchant area. They're mixed. So you're going to have player, NPC, player, NPC, just all mixed in with each other. Because we want to, one of our goals with Revival is we want to make the NPC and player worlds be seamless. It's every MMO that exists right now pretty much has a massive, fat dividing line between players and NPCs, and they either go, oh, NPCs are just there, and eventually you get so powerful that you can just start ignoring them and whatever, they're useless. That is not our goal in Revival, and I've said this plenty of times. I want to make sure that it's not the experience you have in Revival. Like, you need to care about NPCs forever. Like, they are serious, they're powerful, they're there, they operate and they work the same ways as players. Maybe they can't get as powerful or on the same level as players in terms of like crafting commodities and stuff, because we do want players to have to edge, but it's not that big of a line. Okay.
Is there a limit on how many players can be in a house area?
Yes, we do have a max total number of players in the instance before another instance is made. What will happen, again, this is super early, so this might change, is once that max number of players in that instance is reached, the instancing server does its stuff, where it's not like normal instances where here's instance 1 and here's instance 2. Whatever instance 2 is doing, instance 1 has no idea about. Our instancing server works in a way that's going to be, they're all like transitioning between each other at all times, and different servers are managing all those instances and merging them in and out of each other based on what you're doing as a player. So if you're in a hallway over here, no other players are coming in here, and another player that's on another instance come around the corner, the instance manager is going to see like, hey, here's 2 players and they're the only ones in this hallway, so let's just merge them, right? So they're just going to transition, and you both are going to be in there. So that's kind of some of the stuff you're going to be seeing, and that's going to get more in depth as we go forward and plan. But we want to make sure that's very well thought of. Good.
Okay, so will you be able to sneak out onto the farmland at night and steal harvestables?
Absolutely.
Steal the crops.
Someone's an asshole, but yes, you can. Absolutely, yeah. You want to be sitting on the porch, some wheat, a crossbow in your hand. Well, the coyotes out again. Yeah. Okay.
All right, so player-run inns/restaurants will get new housing type options designed for those businesses later, correct?
Eventually, yeah. Right now, we're making everything universal, right? So there's no reason why you can't build a restaurant in the commercial properties. They are a little small, right? For I would say, like if you want a big dining room, for example, and the chances of players coming in and like sitting down and eating. And most players are running around and adventuring. I would say that's pretty small, but NPCs definitely would jump in. So you would probably have like a lot of NPCs coming in and sitting down and dining at your restaurant and stuff like that, which is cool. I think that kind of interaction is really dope. Yeah,
you're still generating cash.
Absolutely, and the current ones, the storefronts on those commercials can still hold quite a few. Like tables and chairs and stuff like that, so you could definitely feed a lot and use your upgradable room as the kitchen. I believe we have one, an upgradable room.
We do actually.
Yeah, so you totally can do that right now. Later down the road, we'll expand housing and stuff that will have more options for things like that.
Okay, so I think this will be the last question. So will you be able to enchant or protect your property? So in case someone tries to steal any harvestables? Yes,
and we've talked about this plenty of times. There's different ways of doing that. That's either through blessings, through temples with SP. You can do like spell type stuff or upgrades to locks and things like that to protect if you don't want to do SP purchases from temples. And you also have protection plans on goods that allow you to, if someone does steal stuff, you get it replaced and things like that. With that whole thing has like replacement, max amounts of replacement for costs and everything like that. Yeah. So we have lots of options there, but there is no, if I'm a player and I have this apple here and I never want this apple ever touched or destroyed ever. That doesn't exist in the world of Revival. Like Revival is a place of chance. You are putting yourself at risk. You have to. This is a world where we're making a virtual world. We're not making Happy Land that's everything's safe and protected. You are at risk. Now, with blessings from temples, that's the safest bet for everything, right? Blessings from temples allow you the most protection, and protection plans make sure that if someone does jank your stuff, you're able to get it replaced quickly. Okay, cool. So I guess that's good. That was good. Good timing this time. Wow. All right, cool.
Made good time.
I think it's the same amount of time last time. So cool. Well, guys, next time we're going to be doing this live stream. We're going to be doing style 4, which is going to be really cool. They get really big there.
The masses.
Yeah.
Those are going to be awesome.
Those ones. Those are my personal favorite. I even purchased one myself. I would say. You get a tenement building. I'm just playing. So that's going to be next time. We're really excited about that. We really enjoy doing this stuff. We enjoy reaching out and communicating with you guys. Please let us know if you have any questions. Definitely jump in on the. I turned it off. Definitely jump in the IRC from time to time and chat. So if you are a founder and you're not in the IRC, please make sure you get in there. It's great to see the fans talking to each other and talk to the devs and all that stuff. So, all right, cool. Well, until next time, guys, thank you very much. Thank you so much for the support, and we'll definitely see you next time then.
Yep.
Right?
Adios.
Bye-bye.
Love you.
Love you.